You've admitted you have a problem in the game, then you tried to sell us the solution. You can't do that. You have to fix the problem. You know, man, if it's one thing that Plarium delivers on, it's a meme. It's a different meme every single day. If this is not a straight up finger to the people that own the raid pass, I don't know what it is. Now they want you to purchase for the pleasure of getting more multi-battles every single day. I don't need to buy 150 more multi-battles. I have something called an auto clicker, as most people do. You know, and we've been telling them for damn near 2 years now, why don't you make the raid pass actually do something good? You get such a percentage increase of like the experience in silver that it's barely even worth it. In fact, Chofly Elite, the guy who does all the calculations to tell you whether a pack offer is worth it, literally will say, even if you're buying other packs, the raid pass is still not worth it mathematically. And I tend to agree with them because it's just not a good deal. The only thing they really try to do is sell you on the fact you go from 30 multi-battles to 100 every single day. And then they try to capitalize by selling us more multi-battles. The problem with the game is not the fact that we don't have more multi-battles. It's the fact that you purposely don't allow us to go past the 2 times speed, and then you sell it as it's a technical difficulty when you can technically update the game within 24 hours to remove things like mercy pity trackers. It's blindingly clear to anyone who plays the game on a regular basis that they don't want to give us multi-battles or sims as something is more of a maintenance in the game to keep up with the other gachas who are already doing this. Most other gachas, including ones that you play manually, for instance, like Genshin Impact or My Hero Academia games that you play manually, will allow you to sim battles so you don't even have to play the battles, for instance, okay? But instead, in this game, their way of doing that is by monetizing that with their paid card, and now with individual packs, you're gonna have to continually repurchase if you want to do multi-battle attempts. This is something I have a major problem with, because what it's actually doing is capitalizing on people who are uneducated instead of people who, you know, maybe just want to buy a shard or get lucky. You're capitalizing on people that don't understand auto clickers are out there, or that don't understand there's ways to get around this stupid multi-battle thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we see them cracking down on auto clickers and banning auto clickers outright in order to monetize this further. I don't know if they're running out of money over there or if they're running a new ad campaign, but how many like huge cash grabs in a row is this? Is the third one in less than a week, right? That itself might actually be a tell, because what they've been doing is they put technical updates to block third-party programs. They went out of their way to make sure BlueStacks isn't pushing out Raid Shadow Legends content anymore. Maybe what they're actually trying to do is remove auto clickers entirely and start banning people that are using auto clickers. They haven't stated this yet. Maybe we want to start being careful with our auto clickers or start keeping up to date in the forums. Because we know one thing about Plarium, they're constantly looking to make money, and I think they're running out of ideas, so now they're just going to start, I guess, monetizing the battles themselves. And before somebody out there says, but DM, what you're actually buying is the energy. They decided to just give you free multi-battles in it, you know, for free. You just get, yes, but there's also $40 packs out there that sell you even more multi-battles as well. You are, in fact, paying for the multi-battles, and this is not something that you should be excited by. It's showing that their mentality is not, let's fix the raid pass card that's not very good, people have been paying for it for years, and let's not fix the part of the game that's busted, the fact that you have to do a billion battles over and over again. They can't fix it, because if they decide to fix it, it removes the incentive to make your teams faster, so that you can farm this gear quicker, so that your team's a little bit faster, so you can farm it ruins the infinite loop. So they can't really give you the 3x or the 4x speeds, and they can't really give you the sims we're asking for, and they can't really give you 1,000 multi-battles on the raid pass card, because then you're just not going to pay attention to your team at all. You're going to get used to the team being on auto. Now, there's a video out there called Let's Go Welling, which effectively talks about all the monetization tricks these games have. And one of it is audience retention stat, which is how much can we keep the player in the game as much as possible. If we keep them in the game all the time when our pack offers pop up, or when they decide that, oh man, I really am having a hard time with this, or I want to get, it's more time for them to notice things in the game that might make them spend or might make them go into a spending type of attitude, and then you offer them a pop-up. It's the same thing in this game. The multi-battles, they're just going to sell, and they're not going to give us sims or anything like that, and more than likely they're probably going to ban auto-clickers at some point if this is the route they're going. The 2x event is kind of cool. You get double drop chance at speed stats. I believe it's about 11% per speed, and so you double that, you're at about 1 out of 5 chance to get a speed piece of gear. So if you buy 150 multi-battles, maybe you get yourself 50 pieces of speed gear. By the time the RNG breaks down, you keep yourselves 3 or 4 of those pieces of speed gear, I'm sure, and then that's about what you got. Now, I'm sure lots of people are going to be buying this, but you really don't want to encourage buying of the multi-pass, because you're really kind of screwing yourself. If we buy it and we use their multi-battles, they're going to do it again. And it's going to show that people are willing to spend for a feature. Instead, we should just have implemented in the game to keep up with other gacha games. Again, Raid is constantly behind. They're ahead in art, they're ahead in marketing, and to be honest, they're really, really good at that. I mean, they have 10 out of 10 art, 10 out of 10 marketing. Everyone knows what the game is. Yes, it's a meme, but they spin into that. They do a great job at that. Now we just need them to do a great job at keeping up with features that are in other games. So it's kind of a hot and cold episode for today, because I actually like the 2x events. Like I like the ability to have targeted events towards certain pieces of gear. Like speed gear is the correct one. They targeted it right, but then they snuck in this multi-battle thing to try to test the waters with this, I mean, it's the same thing with clan versus clan. They, tested it out and then just implemented it exactly the way it is. So look towards the future and be careful when it comes to these packs. I do believe most of the time when they try a new pack, they look at that data pretty heavily to see like who's purchasing it, how much of it is being purchased. Is it the new people? Is it the old wells? Who are the people targeting this? And this is something that we don't want to support, because this is monetizing things in the game that they need to implement. And they're just, instead of implementing a change in the game, they're just making you pay for that change. And that is a really bad route to go down for the health of the game. Because imagine when the duplicate legendary system comes out that they're promising. What if it's like you have to have the raid pass card to use it? You know what I mean? They just start monetizing stuff where it's like, hey, we need the change in the game. We need more multi-battles. We need sims. We need increased speed. Anything. The game takes too long to play. You mentioned it in your own Q&A that the game takes too long to play, but yet you're just offering us more multi-battles. That doesn't solve the problem that you yourself stated is in the game. Take a minute here and plug my second channel. I've been actually putting semi-daily content on it, a pretty good amount. It's real life vlog type of stuff. I'm doing off-road motorcycle. I live in Alaska, so there's off-road motorcycles adventures. I've been doing on-road motorcycle adventures with the new sport bike. I got a camera on the helmet, got one mounted on the front. It's actually been a lot of fun. Some of it's set to music and all of that. I got a new microphone, in fact, coming in. It's already in the shop. I just got to drive an hour to go get it, which is going in the helmet itself. And I'm actually taking the second channel seriously, and it's going to be an entire Alaskan summer of fun. So please do subscribe and check out some videos on the second channel, as I'm really doing my best to make sure you're going to get more and more DM content as my life expands. So if that sounds interesting, I'll have a link in the pinned comment as well as in the description. So thanks for checking that out. So if for some reason somebody at Plarium watches this, very easy points here. Okay, point number 1 is that you have a problem in the game. You've already admitted you have a problem in the game in the Q&A. We saw you say it. You said you realize it takes people like all day to do the things. Point number 2, you tried solving this issue by just selling us a product. When you create a problem with your first product, that's a recall. It is not selling the solution to the problem in the first product with product number 2. That is called, I don't even know what that's called, because I don't know anyone that does it. That's like if a vacuum cleaner got sewed separately with the power cord. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, you've admitted you have a problem in the game, then you tried to sell us the solution. You can't do that. You have to fix the problem. Also, the solution to the problem can in fact be increasing the speed of the game. It's not going to ruin everything. I know you're worried about your tournaments that are basically how long is someone going to spend doing one dungeon straight, and that's kind of what ends up happening in the tournament. And, you know, obviously, do they have enough energy and all that? And I know you're worried about if you add sims into the game, people are just going to sim to 85,000 points from the tournament, and it's going to scare people to even bother with the tournaments, and you're going to lose monetization there. I understand that, okay? Like, again, I can follow the track of logic for the money, because again, the game is blindingly obvious how you monetize. You make it clear so it's easy to look at the problems. But those are problems of revenue that are your fault. That's because you built the game extremely greedy, and you're doing it more and more. So if you continue building the game this way, where it's like greed solved by a monetization problem, greed solved by a monetization wall, greed, if you do make problems in the game and then sell the solution, you're gonna back yourself into a corner and a dead end every time. Okay, when's the last time you saw somebody run from the cops and the first thing he did was go to a dead end? Like, that's what you're doing with the game when you sell solutions to problems you created from selling solutions to problems. What, you don't believe me? You remember CVC, giant failure when it came out? It's a booking thing. You know what their solution to that problem was? They sold books. I mean, do you think I'm wrong? Go back and look. The thing is like, I know it's hard. You got to get through my levels of salt and bias. But guys, it's obvious to see what they do. They're not doing it by mistake. Like, they're smart over there. They're smart people. They're smart enough to bait content creators like me for years into thinking they're going to give you a meaningful relationship, right? Lie about stuff all the time, and then it never gets delivered. It's the same. You have to realize they will do anything it takes to get to the next step. Have you guys ever seen, what was it? Altered Carbon, okay? And she's like, get to the next screen. And the only thing they care about was getting to the next point of like mental fortitude when they're getting tortured or whatever. It's the same. Plarium only thinks in what is the next step to get past this it's one track mind. And then meanwhile, there's games like Guardian Tales, right? And shout out to my boy Kyr Mobile, the #1 name Raid Shadow Legends. You guys remember him? His channel's blowing up right now over Guardian Tales. Like, he's gonna have more views than me very shortly, or he's there already. And good for that boy, because he's making big content. But part of the reason this channel is growing is because the game is growing. Guardian Tales is a one-track channel mind. I mean, one-track mind too, but it's how can we make the game more enjoyable for the players? They literally nail it out of the park. Like, they've added so much good stuff to the game, and I'm not just talking about live PvP and offline PvP. Be able to max any character in the game for free to just test them out. You can just do it. Yes, you can do that. You can automatically max a character, and you put, like the sparring pit. You know, we have the sparring pit. Imagine having one extra spot in the sparring pit. What it is, you just put somebody out. You just put them in that spot, instantly maxes them out. But when you take them out of that spot, they're back to zero, right? It's free, but you get to test out whoever you want. You can do that as many times as you want. You can just cycle people through there. So it's like, oh, I love this epic. Let me see if he's actually good. Oh, he's kind of trash. I'm going to put him in the vault. That one's who I thought was trash is way better than I thought. Now I'm going to build him so I can use him on my teams. You get it? I mean, isn't that amazing? And guess what the reaction was? They made way more money because now people want to max out the characters. They got to try. They are focusing on making the game better, and the game is getting better. And more players are showing up, and those players are spending more money. Now, granted, it's not going to make near as much money as Raid does. They don't spam advertisements, and the art isn't for everybody, but they're going about it in such a correct way that it's so hard not to want to play the game. To wrap it up in a little nutshell for you guys here at the end. Essentially, Plarium's just testing everyone's mental fortitude right now. We already told them that the Raid Pass cards should do more. I mean, it's kind of like a bad deal, you know? And one of the things that people use it for is buying the multi-battles, right? I mean, that's like a pretty large portion of the reason. And now what they're doing is they're just trying to see, well, can we charge people for what it is we should have done in the first place? It's like, I mean, I get it. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just annoying. It's like, can you just, why does everything have to have a price? You know, it's like, can't you just like just make it better?